Hello, Fog Dwellers. Welcome to the next entry of the lore story videos. Tonight, we will be talking a little about my favorite survivor. Yes, I do have a favorite. I bet you do too. Get some snacks, water, or a drink of your choice, and let's hear this story together. When Quentin Smith learned of Nancy's mother's disappearance, he knew they failed. Despite what seemed like a flawless plan, Freddy Krueger had once again evaded death. Determined to end this nightmare for good, Quentin would search for a solution, no matter how long it took. He knew that if he failed, Freddy's reign would continue and Nancy might be lost forever. In the library, where Quentin usually blended into the background, his requests for specific texts drew attention nonetheless. He devoured every scrap of information he could find on shattered dream worlds, lucid dreaming, and controlling the dreamscape. For days he stayed awake, fueled by an array of pills and energy drinks, as he meticulously studied dusty volumes filled with myths about dream demons that trap their victims in limbo, sustaining themselves on terror. He worked with no breaks, because he knew Freddy would soon be coming for him. It wasn't long before his dreadful premonition came to pass and Freddy began appearing in Quentin's dreams. Initially, the demon tormented him from far away, stalking him relentlessly in hopes of wearing him down. With the knowledge he had gathered, Quentin was able to discern flaws within the dream fissures where potential escape routes could be forged. He tested his newfound ability with caution, hoping it would provide a strategic advantage against Freddy. One night, Quentin found himself in Barham Preschool, a familiar and dreaded location. Freddy had grown tired of the game and was ready to claim him. Quentin quickly scanned the maze of rooms for something that could help him escape. His search led him to a can of paint thinner, which he'd converted into a deadly trap. He lured Freddy into position, and then the corridor bursted into flames, and Quentin started running towards the exit he knew lay ahead. But before his eyes, the cracks in the dream had closed, sealing off his escape route that he planned before. Once again, he found himself in Freddy's secret lair, with no chance of escape. As Freddy advanced, a fiendish grin spread across his disfigured face. Quentin was consumed by rage and strong desire to see this monster vanquished. He wished that it had been him who ended Krueger's life back then, that it had been him who started the fire. Perhaps the intensity of this emotion would be enough? This was a realm of the mind, after all. His vision clouded with swirling tendrils of fog, and when it cleared, Quentin found himself near a campfire, surrounded by other trapped souls in need of his help. As the night deepened, the only illumination came from the crackling campfire. Surrounding it were faces, some weathered and some fresh. An elderly man was perched on a log, talking with a younger one beside him. The rest of them were quiet, their attention fixated on the fire's heart. They were seemingly relaxed, enjoying their serene sanctuary in this peculiar place. The observer's piercing gaze shifted towards the newcomer who had recently joined the group around the campfire. His blue denim jacket and aged trousers couldn't mask the radiance emanating from his weary eyes. Eyes that bore witness to sleepless nights for weeks. "So, what's next, Dreamwalker?" The observer addressed the new arrival. His appearance suggested chaos. He was on the brink of losing his grip on reality after his confrontation with the dream demon. He could still feel the heat of the fire that roared through the preschool corridors as the trap triggered in Batham Preschool. His recollection of the ordeal was abruptly halted by an elderly man who started speaking again. "Your journey is just beginning," he said with a tinge of sadness in his voice. "You are now in a new realm." He looked at Quentin, knowing the path that was laid for him was not the best one. "Unfortunately, you brought Freddy here with you." "Nancy will be fine," he muttered into the fire. There are many like Mr. Kruger here, and all of them will pursue you and your teammates. He took a deep breath before continuing. We have trials here. Think of them as a dream, a nightmare, where there are 4 survivors and a killer. A nightmare where you can wake up only by working together. The observer locked eyes with Quentin. "Welcome to the entity's realm," he said. "You wished for Freddy to disappear, and your wish was so strong that both of you are here now. I hope you are ready for the challenge." The elderly man stood up and brushed off the ashes from his clothes. Quentin listened, absorbing all the information that the observer gave. Somehow, he knew that Nancy was safe. He had a new battle ahead, one larger and more unforgiving than the one before. "I will be here to ensure everyone makes it out," Quentin declared. As those words left his lips, he could feel the entity's grasp. Tendrils were starting to pull him in. He was about to embark on his first trial. "Good luck, kid," the observer called as the world dissolved into thick and cold fog. "You will need it," he whispered and started walking back to his tower. As the fog dissipated, Quentin found himself standing in a desolate western town. Tumbleweeds rolled down the dusty main street, and a creaky old saloon stood prominently in the center. The name board revealed the ominous moniker of this place: Dead Dog Saloon. To the left, an old barn rested beside a gallows that still housed 2 unlucky souls. It was dusk, the air was dry and hot, and the crows circled overhead, watching. Joining Quentin were 3 other individuals: David, Jake, and Claudette, all equally bewildered and lost in this strange environment. They looked around too, trying to make sense of their surroundings, and then they heard it. A song drifting through the dry air. It was soft and soothing, a lullaby that seemed to bring comfort and reminded them of home and distant memories. But the melody took on an unsettling tone as they saw her, Anna, aka the Huntress, standing in the middle of the main street. She held a hatchet in one hand and wore a bunny mask over her piercing gaze. The sight of her sent a chill down their spines. The song now filled them with dread, as they realized it was a haunting refrain, played to lull its victims into a false sense of security before she struck. They exchanged glances, each one feeling the weight of their predicament. They scattered as they searched for cover, aware that the first hatchet would soon fly. Quentin soon discovered the rules of this strange trial. To escape, 5 generators must be repaired. Quentin hid in a small shack next to a water tower, where he found the generator. Anna was nearby, making her way towards Claudette at the saloon. Exiting the shack, Quentin set to work on the generator, while Claudette skillfully evaded the Huntress within the saloon, using its layout to dodge the hatchets and break the line of sight. After some time, 4 generators came to life, but Claudette was injured in the process. The remaining one was being worked on as their wild dance continued. Claudette's skill and their teamwork paid off when the exit gates finally powered up. But alas, a piercing sound echoed through the dry air. A hex has been activated, leaving them all exposed. Claudette collapsed, but began to recover as David and Jake initiated a new chase with Anna. Quentin made his way towards the saloon. He healed Claudette and they both started searching for the source of the hex. Hexes are cursed totems made of 3 skulls, sticks and rope that would burn when activated. To remove the hex, one must break that totem into pieces. This specific hex was as old as the trials. Its name was No One Escapes Death. Quentin returned to the water tower, to the small shack, and began working on a burning totem. As he neared completion, he heard the lullaby but continued breaking the cursed thing, determined to help his team escape. It was too late. The Huntress axe found its mark, leaving Quentin to bleed out on the ground. After a few minutes, 3 of them were lying next to the totem. All tried to help each other. Anna stood over them, watching for the 4th member of their team. The whispers came back. They told Claudette to open the gate and leave her team behind. They were too weak, disgusting. She is better than this and deserved the escape. But something held her back. Something whispered in her mind. The 4 words, "No one left behind." The thought settled in and she was filled with determination. She held her medkit firmly and started approaching Anna, that stood tall, hatchet ready to throw, next to her fallen teammates. Claudette snuck up to the huntress and dropped her medkit onto the ground. The metal box made a distinct sound and huntress turned around. In that moment, their eyes met. Anna saw something in the young botanist's eyes, a spark that reignited Anna's memories of home, the serene woods she grew up in, her house, her mother, the childhood she never got to have. Anna felt different. She felt sadness and loss. Claudette showed boldness, determination, and love for her team that moved the cold-hearted killer. She can make a difference. She silenced the angry, whiny voice in her head and sheathed her hatchet, allowing Claudette to pick up her teammates. Once they were all up, Anna pointed to the gate, signaling the end of the trial. All 5 of them walked to the exit gate, feeling tired, broken, but happy. They made it out, and they remembered. They turned back one more time and nodded to thank the huntress for sparing their lives. Anna nodded back as the world around them dissolved. There was something different about this one. Something none of them could quite put their finger on. A new hope. And that, dear viewers, is how this trial ended. Sometimes they do end like this. Sometimes the force that controls the 2 sides communicates with no words. They feel, they know, and they respect each other. Have a wonderful rest of your day and thank you for watching. Augustus signing off.